it's not too difficult to scout your opponent. It's not a huge map like Tal'Darim Altar. So I guess all the sort of strategies are still possibilities in this TVT, but we'll see whether people or these players are actually going to be able to get up into some sort of macro game. And we'll see some varied play, hopefully, from Ruff coming up here and what Oracle has to offer as well.
Yeah, one thing I would also like to note on Shakura's Plateau is it is always going to be forced cross spawns east and west. So, and we did see Ruff perhaps open up with a little bit of cheese in some previous matches, and Ruff may try to go for some cheese this time around. We keep on mentioning that Ruff does play non-standard games very, very often, and we'll see whether or not Oracle will be able to respond, or they may just try to prove me wrong and play a straight up Terran matchup with Banshees, Marines, and tanks.
Yeah, this is one of those maps where, as you mentioned, Ruff spawning on the right-hand side here as the purple Terran, and Oracle spawning as the blue Terran on the left, the western side. Ruff could place, two barracks on the western side here, maybe on the low ground right below those expansions, behind the high grass, and that's good positioning for either starting position for Oracle or any opposing player. And that's a pretty decent map for cheese because you know your opponent is definitely in one of those two positions. And Ruff at the moment hasn't sent out anything, actually going for a fast refinery. So I imagine he's going to want to get up a factory as quickly as possible following this first barracks here. And both players just now sending out their scout at 12.
Yeah, what I expect to see some from Ruff is Ruff placing a barracks on his front door. It will have a reactor in the proper position as well, and then he will be able to perhaps do a heli or a reactor swap for that factory. That's normally what Terran players do when they go for gas first. Instead, he builds the barracks a little bit further away from that front door, and perhaps we'll see a triple supply depots there. Meanwhile, both players now coming into each other's base, and they are going to see pretty much standard builds. Ruff did go for that refinery first, which is a little bit out of the ordinary, but nothing that Oracle hasn't seen before. Meanwhile, Oracle opening up with that tried and true barracks plus refinery. He is going to be a little bit behind on gas. He looks to be about 84 gas behind at this point, so it will delay his barracks just a little bit, or his orbital command just a little bit.
Yeah, and actually Ruff harassing a little bit there forced an SCV to be pulled off the barracks of Oracle as it was building, and he had to replace it with another one, so it cost himself about 5 seconds of build time there. And Ruff's barracks was a little bit behind Oracle, so he made up a few seconds there with just a little bit of harassment. Those SCV on SCV crime, and Ruff returning back with his wounded SCV. So got 10 hit points gone and seen a little bit of battle action, and now it looks like he is positioning that there to place down a supply depot and a factory going up for Ruff, just the one gas. So he could actually get up a start port after this and ferry some units across, go for that 1-1-1 style. We'll see what he does.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious as to what Ruff wants to do. I would normally expect a second gas down if it is going to be cloaked Banshees, and it is going to be a second refinery now coming into play. Meanwhile, we are going into Reapers by Oracle. So Oracle going into those Reapers, they may have a very, very easy time inside this mineral line, especially if Ruff does not go for a Hellion. He needs to get a Hellion that can chase down those Reapers rather quickly, but if he just delays and gets a starport and a tech lab, he may find himself in a bit of a pickle, as 2 to 3 Reapers can really destroy a mineral line rather quickly.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going for an armory, so a 1-1-1 with an armory on top, and we will have a tech lab added to this factory. So again, not quite sure what he's going to be going for here. This couldn't be a one-base battle cruiser. I'm not really sure why you get a tech lab on that factory, with perhaps preparing for the starport. I don't really know at this point.
My best guess, if I had to guess right now, would be Thorship play, with perhaps some SCVs to try to repair, but that would be a blind guess at this point. And we'll see whether or not we're going to get the supply depot. We may be getting a Thor, and then there is a Thor, and then if we get a tech lab right behind it, as the Reapers now coming in, able to get off some quick kills onto those SCVs. The SCVs now pushing their way in, going to move back over once again. There is one Marine in the group, and that one Marine able to deter any of those units from coming back in. But yeah, that I believe that was a significant delay in gas for Ruff, and Ruff will be delayed on this medevac, so that Thor ship will be a little bit behind.
Yeah, just the one Marine at the moment for Ruff, so obviously he's going to have to make a few more, cheating a little bit there. You have to make some units in this game. You can't just go straight for tech. And he did lose 4 SCVs there. So checking out the unit counting station, it is 20 SCVs to 25. Oracle does have the lead. Back in his base, he is actually getting up a command center, so he will soon be on 2 bases. He is working on his second factory. He has yet to get any sort of tech lab research on those factories, and we'll see how effective this store ship is going to be.
Yeah, this store ship, a very, very interesting play. It's something I haven't seen very often at all. I believe it's actually been about 8 months since I've seen early Thor ship play, and that was back when Lost Temple was still a very, very popular map, and now the Thor is in play here. And if what the Thor can do is the Thor can actually drop down, and it can pick up right as the Marauders try to fire those missiles or those Punisher grenades, and it looks like it's going to pick up at just the right moment, and then perhaps drop back down, get some repairing done as a second Thor and a second medevac now being added. No, not a second medevac, instead going for a Banshee. So a Banshee will be added into this group as the SCVs repair this one Thor and a new Thor makes its way out.
Yeah, so 4 kills on that Thor. It looks like 2 SCVs, and then there's 1 SCV and a few units. And Oracle actually responding. He's not producing extra Marauders. A little bit surprising since they do extra damage against armored. Instead going for Siege Tank, also unsieged, do extra damage against armored. So now we see another Thor coming in here, and there's a Siege Tank on the high ground that was quickly taken down by that Thor. So Ruff doing some damage here in the early going.
Yeah, so Ruff just having his way with this army so far, just picking it up. Oh, picking it up at a very, very low hit point. I believe it was somewhere down and below 20, and able to pick it up and save it just in time. It looks like the new Thor, or the original Thor with 4 kills, is already repaired and ready to go once again. But I'm still surprised that we don't have a command center, and now Ruff also taking this opportunity to expand as well. Ruff should perhaps bring along this Banshee. That Banshee would be able to offer some additional cover fire as the Thor coming back in for more and to deal more and more damage.
Yeah, that Banshee could definitely sort of lighten up the Marine count. At this point, he does have out 5 Marines, and another Thor coming in here. Oracle says this has got to be the last one, but little does he know, Ruff does have 2, and another tank goes down, another Marauder goes down, and no, he didn't get the pickup!
I was absolutely surprised by that. Ruff's medevac was just flying around, taking a look, enjoying the scenery, getting shot by a couple Marines, only to watch his Thor get taken down. And now 2 Banshees deciding to take its place, and it looks like it will be 1 base double Banshee and a Thor as well. So this is just absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to go for cute stuff like this, you have to have excellent control. Ruff losing it a little bit there, and now we have actually a lot of Marines at this point. Those Banshees do not have cloaks, so not going to be forcing any scans, and in comes the Thor, and along with the Thor and the Banshees, we'll see whether they're able to take down all these units, but quickly down goes 1 Banshee, the second one about to go down as well, but no stim on those Marines, so this time the Banshee and the Thor able to escape with their lives, and right now it's 56 to 60. Ruff going for an interesting composition with Medevac, Thor, and Banshee, and a little bit more standard play coming from Oracle.
Yeah, Ruff really needs to establish his expansion. He's sitting at 57 over 110. He is more gas locked than anything else, as the double Banshees are now pushing their way in, looking to get more damage against those units. So it looks like another Banshee will get shot down in just a moment. But no, now the Banshees just playing that dangerous game against those Marines. A range of 6 versus a range of 5, as those Banshees just need to pull away, and it looks like they will be able to do just exactly that. Perhaps shut down another missile turret there, as both sides are just exchanging blows. 3 Marines are left, and it looks like these Banshees want to return home and perhaps be repaired.
It's surprising to me that Ruff hasn't shuttled any SCVs down to the low ground here. He could really lessen his travel time. He's got to go all the way back to his base, repair there, and then go all the way back to Oracle's base. And it is sort of close by air, but it could be even closer if he brought some SCVs onto the low ground and basically made a kind of a pit crew. As we see the Thor being dropped this time, it's going to want to take down those missile turrets, and right now the medevac is threatened by those missile turrets. Not too many units right now for Oracle, as they do stream up to try to take on this Thor, and we'll see whether they're able to focus down. Oh, they do.
Yeah, so yeah, that was just really, really nicely done. Oracle kind of moved over with his Marines. It looked like he wanted to focus down the medevac. The medevac realizing that it couldn't get close enough, and the Thor was destroyed. Taking a look at the losses now, it's 1675 versus 3725, but that is a little deceptive, as you can see that Oracle is sitting on a much stronger economy, with 15 more harvesters and getting about 600 resources more a minute. The Banshees are now making their way out as well and getting in a couple quick kills. All the Marines getting taken down, and Oracle just not ready for the 4 Banshees. So I would almost call this a transition offense where you never know what units you need to train in order to slow down your opponent, because every time you look, it is a new unit coming into play, and these Banshees are just having their way inside the space. I don't see that many more. 4 more Marines are going to be trained. Another siege tank going to get destroyed. Another one goes down, and Oracle just has to be absolutely frustrated by the almost cute play of Ruff.
Yeah, Ruff basically responding to the fact that Oracle doesn't have a lot of Marines out. He just had 5 Marines, another 4 coming out, but they're not going to be able to take on these 4 Banshees. You're going to need at least 8 to 10 Marines to take on these Banshees of firepower. Ruff dropping mules here to repair the Banshees up, and now we see the Marines taking on the Banshees. The Banshees were not attacking altogether though, so the Marines were able to take down 3 of the Banshees, and now 1 Banshee left going into the main of Oracle. It's got to be beware of the now Viking out, as well as the turrets scattered all around, and that Banshee finally does go down, but it gives the opportunity for Ruff to get his own expansion down, and now he's transitioning once again. He's got a Thor, and it's kind of escorted here by some Marauders and Marines, so very tricky change-up play by Ruff.
Yeah, so Ruff, I guess, coining the phrase transition offense with a Thor, Marine, Marauders, Banshees, and the only unit I haven't seen is a Hellion. Oh, actually, I think the only unit I haven't seen come in from Ruff in all 3 of these games is perhaps a Raven at this point. So perhaps he'll do Mass Ravens next game if he can finish Oracle, as he may want to go for the cycle on all the units. The Banshees quickly cloaking, but will get cleaned up by the Viking and the Marines.
And now we have Stim Banshees for Oracle against Unstim Banshees from Ruff, but he does, or Unstim, Marines from Ruff. Banshees stimming up would be pretty good as well. But Ruff does have the Medevac, so the Medevac only has 2 HP, but it is going to be providing a little bit of healing. The tank's in here as well. Ruff really needed to use his Thor to tank the tank damage, but he will be testing the front door of Oracle here. It looks like he's going to be pretty successful as he makes his way into the natural.
Yeah, it is going to be double Thors. The Thors do have decent amount of armor. The Marines are now trying to focus down onto the Thor, but that's not going to work out all too well, as 2 Thors are just simply walking inside this base, and are perhaps going to be able to shut down the orbital command. You can see that the orbital command are now starting to burn, as it is now below 1/3 health. SCVs coming over to do their job and now try to repair it. It looks like the siege tank will be able to start blasting away at the Thor as well. There it goes, as Ruff now able to push Oracle back into 1 base as he himself establishes another.
Yeah, Ruff Stim about to finish, and he does have another force back at his natural defending, so he is preventing Oracle from mining off 2 bases here, getting up onto a 3rd base himself. Again, he landed a mule to repair up his Thors, and now we see these low ground siege tanks for Oracle, but Oracle doesn't have much else in the way of army besides these Marines and siege tanks, so I think if Ruff is able to do considerable damage here with these forces, he could soften up Oracle again enough so that the next push does work.
Yeah, Ruff also coming back in with, once again, Cloaked Banshees going to perhaps try to finish those siege tanks. The siege tank down to 6 hit points, trying to pull away once more. It looks like the Viking may be able to get the kill off. There it goes. But now I believe another scout sweep should be coming in. SCVs now desperately trying to repair the siege tanks once again. 2 siege tanks preventing the Thors from really engaging. There is another scout sweep coming in. That Banshee is not long for life, but it may be able to take down enough SCVs and siege tanks. There you go there. And now all we have is, I believe, 2 Thors and 1 mule, and I don't even think that mule is repairing there, so we now have 2 green Thors inside the base.
Yeah, that last Banshee actually had 12 kills, so Ruff definitely getting his money worth. Now the Thor's moving in position here behind the natural, once again shutting down the mining here. Oracle forced to unsiege his tanks, and if Ruff is very quick here with his Thors, he could perhaps take down a few more tanks, soften up the general army of Oracle as he moves in the front door once again. Now he does have Stim done, Marauders as well, so the Marauders will quickly focus down those tanks, and more Thors coming in here along with Cloak Banshees, Marines. This might be GG from Oracle.
Yeah, this has just been a crazy game coming in from Ruff. Ruff just showing that as long as you do anything, you can do anything as long as you execute it well, and it could become a victory here, as Oracle does say GG. Ruff now 1 game away from the all kill.
Wow.